fucking stressed out. I'm fucking stressed. We should not be working like this. I work my ass off and I can't even. I'm so fucking tired of life. I can't afford to live here anymore. I can't afford to live here anymore.
Oh my God, I love going to work and working full time and still not being able to afford a house.
It is literally impossible to buy a house right now. I currently work 3 jobs. My girlfriend works 2 jobs. We have a bunch of money saved up, and I still cannot buy a house.
The cost of housing here in the United States is astronomically ridiculous. $440,000 is the average price of an American home.
If the average price of an apartment is around $1,600 and you need to make 3 times the rent in order to be approved for an apartment, you have to make $4,800 a month, or at least $30 an hour.
Average rent in America just hit $3,000, so $9,000 a month.
So we bought a house that we could not afford. And I don't mean like tight budget afford. I mean, we had no idea what it actually cost every month. $700,000 in Los Angeles County.
We just went and toured a house. I'm gonna get bad juju from this. We found a house that's perfect and we're gonna put an offer on it. And I'm gonna update you guys after the fact to see if we get it or not. I'm so scared.
People are losing their homes. People are living in extended stay hotels. People are sleeping in cars. By the statistics that came out last year, at minimum, there's 700 and something thousand people that are homeless.
No, let's play a game. Get a number in your head, okay? Think, what do you think this costs? All right, hold on, because you're wrong. $3 million.
I'm sorry, but boomers ruined the economy for us. Boomers will say, just work hard and you'll be able to buy a house. When they bought a house, it was $40,000. College was cheap, rent was cheap, groceries were even cheaper. Now rent is like $1,800 for a studio apartment. But
for many Americans, buying a home is no longer just difficult, it feels impossible. For decades, homeownership was seen as a symbol of stability, success, and the American dream. But today, millions of people say that dream is slipping further out of reach. Across the country, home prices have risen dramatically. At the same time, higher mortgage rates have made monthly payments more expensive than ever before. Many first-time buyers say they are being priced out of the market. Even people with steady jobs and decent incomes are struggling to save enough for a down payment. For some families, the choice is no longer between renting and buying. The choice is simply finding a place they can afford to live. As housing costs continue to rise, more Americans are delaying major life decisions, moving back in with family, or giving up on homeownership altogether. The question many people are asking is simple. If ordinary workers can no longer afford a home, what happens to the American dream? And judging by the stories being shared online every day, this is a problem that affects far more people than many realize. What do you think? Is homeownership still achievable in America, or is it becoming out of reach for the average person?
I'm so fucking tired of life. I can't afford to live here anymore. I can't afford to live here anymore. I just spent 6 hours of my life serving tables, running around to make $50. To make $50. And I already know the comments are going to be like, well, get a better job. I'm trying. I moved here 3 weeks ago. I've sent out over 100 resumes. I've had 1 interview. I didn't get the job. I knew I blew it. I did not get the job. I'm trying. The only reason why I got a server job is to make some money while I'm trying to get my big girl job again so I can get checks that actually matter. You know, so I can make money I can actually live off of. But nobody calls. Nobody's calling for these jobs. You know, Indeed is, we're hiring. Or where? Okay, because I sent my resume and I can't I can't afford anything. Okay, I live with my son and his roommates right now, and I'm very thankful for that, but I need my own place and I can't afford it. I can't afford anything. I cannot afford to live here anymore. And I can't take my own life. So like, what am I supposed to do?
What's up, America? We have got to do something to get the prices of houses down here in America. So I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the cost of housing here in the United States is astronomically ridiculous. $440,000 is the average price of an American home. Now, this is absolutely insane because the price of housing has more than doubled in just about 7 or 8 years, making this the highest price increase for houses in recorded American history. Now, you might ask yourself, how the fuck did this happen? Well, it's a mix of several different factors. One, companies like Blackstone bought up as many properties, single-family homes that they could, and then simply kept them off the market in order to increase the price of the houses, using the laws of supply and demand against the American population in order to charge them more than ever. Then, of course, there's just good old-fashioned price gouging. You have some of that. Then you have property taxes. That's because of the government. Then, of course, my personal favorite, illegal aliens chipping away at the remaining supply of homes throughout the United States. All of those factors combined made a perfect storm that you can never afford a house. Now, if you're a boomer, you'll just tell everybody to work harder, even though the price of homes is approximately 10 times more than you paid for your house. But the just work harder model is not conducive to what's going on in America currently. Because a majority of the population has no money in the savings account, every dime in their checking is spoken for with bills, and they don't have the money to invest, everybody is basically fucked, the younger generations, on purchasing a home. Hell, in a lot of markets here in the United States, if you make $200,000 a year and you have an 800 credit score, you might still have trouble getting into a house. And so unless something is done very quickly, the American dream is virtually dead. Now, a lot of people don't want to admit that because they want to believe that there's still hope. But unless we tackle illegal immigration, price gouging, taxes, and illegal manipulation of markets, then there's no way this will stop. Especially with the purchasing a shitload of homes and keeping them off the market. Donald Trump said that they weren't going to be doing that, but then all of a sudden that seems to have fizzled out and it's not happening now. But the bottom line is that prices for houses must go down at least 30%.
It is literally impossible to buy a house right now. I currently work 3 jobs. My girlfriend works 2 jobs. We have a bunch of money saved up, and I still cannot buy a house. Otherwise, we'll be completely house poor. I'm so sick of this. I'm so tired of it. We've been working so hard for so long. Both of our credit scores are 700 plus, 720 plus. And we're working our butts off. All we want to do is start our life, live our life, and we can't do it. I'm so tired of it. And now we find out that the money that we've been paying for taxes all this time is going to stuff that it shouldn't have gone to. I don't know how much more I can take, man. I don't know how much more I can take. Like, when is the American dream going to be feasible again? When is it going to be okay to work hard to get good things in life? With both of us combined, 5 jobs, and we can't afford a house. I'm so done, man.
What is going on in Canada that this house costs? Let's play a game. Get a number in your head, okay? Think, what do you think this costs? All right, hold on, because you're wrong. $3 million. For that? Assault. Okay, this is in Vancouver. And people say Vancouver's the LA of Canada when it comes to real estate. No. In LA, that would cost what? Like $900,000? Maybe 1.5 on a really bad day. In no world is that $3 million. So I'm from Oklahoma. In Oklahoma, that is 75 $75,000. And what miffs me is like, if that's 3 million, okay, well, I'd hate to see 5 million. Like the one next door, what's that? 4.5 million, it's 2 stories. So is all of your money just completely wrapped up? In your house, can you even afford to buy? Why would you live in Vancouver? Just went there, loved it. I get why you live there. Not for $3 million in that bad boy. I bet that is one. Well, let's look. How many bedrooms? 4 bedrooms and 2 baths.
I'm a little concerned just on how my generation and the future generations are supposed to buy homes. So how are we supposed to buy a home when minimum homes are $300,000? 20% of $300,000 is $60,000. So for me to have to save up $20,000 just to put down, never mind closing costs and your realtor that you have to pay and all of the other fees that you have to pay, which could be a minimum of like $8,000 to $15,000 for closing costs. I've heard people pay way more. And then what if you want to have a family? What if your girlfriend or your wife gets pregnant and you're like, hey, we should raise this baby. How are you going to afford it? Who's going to watch your baby? So I just want to think about that for people who are rushing into relationships and rushing to grow up. It is very difficult, not only because you can't afford anything unless you make above $100,000, especially in the New England. You just can't afford to live. You can't even afford to save money. You can't afford to go on vacation. Most of these people are living paycheck to paycheck, so don't rush to move out.
Officially made an offer on close to my dream townhome yesterday and got rejected 3 hours later. Yeah. We went and toured this townhome in Fairfield County this past weekend. Fell in love, went to the second open house, was even more solidified, yes, let's do this. Put in our strongest offer. We did over asking. No contingencies, as fast as close as we could possibly do, and we still got outbid by 3 people. I can't do it. I cannot do it. You will not catch me paying $200K over for a 1,300 square foot townhome. I'm not gonna do it. I can't do it. I can't do it, you guys. I can't do it.
It's really a lot of grief over the stability people thought they could have here in this country. They feel like they have lost that stability, opportunity, the version of America that they wholeheartedly believed in and saw that was available for previous generations. A lot of people argue that all of these opportunities are still here in America. And I would say that there are still, yes, a lot of opportunity here in America. Does it look the same like it did before? I don't believe so. There are ways to make money in America now, and there are a lot of opportunity, and you still see people migrating over, but it is not the same. It is not the same because when you can't just work a regular 9-to-5 job and afford everything because things are just outpricing you everywhere you go, that's not the same American dream. Everybody's waking up to this right now, and I think we're at the point where people can't really ignore this anymore because it is hitting them. They are feeling it unless they are extremely well off. And we're at that point where people are realizing it and they know that it can't go on like this. So something needs to give. And now we're at the time where people are really trying to scramble and figure out what they're going to do. And a lot of people are still keeping their head above water, but this is that point where we're going to see more and more of a transition. Either people are really going to make it or they're going to not, and it's going to get harder and harder. So, and it's not that they're not going to make it, but they're going to see that it's going to become more of a struggle because prices are not coming down. And now look, we turn around and gas is going to go up some more and the food's going to go up some more and utility bills are continuing to go up. New vehicles are becoming more expensive, even older vehicles. Everything's going up so much. So, I see people making the changes that they need to make, at least trying, and they're trying to, grow their own food. They're trying to cut back. They're trying to downsize. They're trying to look for more side hustles and move in with family, have family move back in with them. People are making these choices now. So we'll see what continues to happen. But I commend people that are making these decisions because you have to figure out a way to do whatever you need to do. And a lot of people are, you know, if they're able to, picking up and moving out of their location, out of the big cities, out of maybe their state that they're in. But people are making these changes, and I know it's not easy. I know it's not. We've done it plenty of times, and it is very hard, and it's challenging. And a lot of times you can't even do it when you want to. It's a process. You have to start to plan and wait and try and get things to line up, and then things don't line up, and you got to wait longer. And trust me, I know. So, you know, it is hard, but if there's a will, there's a way, and people are doing it. So make sure you're taking care of yourselves and your family. Make sure you're doing things today to help yourselves in the future. There's no point in just kind of putting our head in the sand and saying, well, it's going to be what it's going to be, and, you know, the government will come save me and whatever. We need to take care of ourselves. So I hope that's an encouragement for you guys. Thank you for watching. Put your comments down in the comment section below. Also check out my other channel, She Prepares, and I show there some of the stuff that we're doing, especially in this day and age that we're in right now. I'll put the link down below, but it's at She Prepares channel. Yeah, hope to see you guys there, and I hope you're doing okay. Take care, and I'll catch you in the next video.
I have been apartment hunting in Denver, Colorado, and honey, I am at the end of my rope. I'm just gonna vent for a second. First of all, I have to give this apartment that I currently live in 60 days notice before I move out. That might be fine, except for the fact that every other apartment building in Denver also requires 60-day notice of their tenants before they move out. This is very troublesome because when I call an apartment building and I say, hello, what is your pricing and availability for about 70 days from now? They all tell me, oh, we don't know our availability for 70 days from now because we only require 60 days notice from our tenants, so we won't know availability until about 60 days from your move-in date. So if I have to give 60 days notice to my building, but you won't know what's available in your building until 60 days before I have to move out, are you starting to see the issue? Okay, here's another problem. My lease is up in June, but I started touring apartments the first week of March because I wanted to know my options. I wanted to be ahead of the game. The problem with this is that rent prices for each individual unit fluctuate every single day, and I'm not exaggerating. If you speak to a leasing manager of a building, they cannot tell you what a unit is going to cost next week because every single day they log into a computer and an algorithm tells them what everything is going to cost. There are apartments in Denver, Colorado that I toured in March that today on April 21st are now going for almost $1,000 more. And the leasing agents can't help you. They're just like, yeah, I guess the demand is a little higher right now, so the algorithm in my computer told us we had to charge more, I don't know. And what's even crazier is that Colorado actually passed a law to ban the use of computer algorithms to set rent prices, but Jared Polis, our governor, vetoed that law. Why did he veto that law? I don't know, but at this point it feels like he vetoed it because he has a problem with me personally. I'm sure some people are going to tell me to use an apartment locator, but I have done that, and the problem with apartment locators is that they will only show you buildings that will pay them commission if they find them tenants. So they're not going to show you a building that might be perfect for you if that building will not pay them commission, and I totally understand. It's still like a good service, especially I think if you don't know the area, but I've lived downtown for 12 years. I know the area. The problem is the process. Apartment hunting is pushing me to my absolute limit, and Jared Polis and I have personal beef at this point.
I've been on the hunt to find the perfect apartment or house in Atlanta, and I think we hopefully have the last update for you guys. We just went and toured a house. I'm gonna get bad juju from this. We found a house that's perfect, and we're gonna put an offer on it, and I'm gonna update you guys after the fact to see if we get it or not. I'm so scared.
I'm sorry, but boomers ruined the economy for us. Boomers will say, just work hard and you'll be able to buy a house. When they bought a house, it was $40,000. College was cheap, rent was cheap, groceries were even cheaper. Now rent is like $1,800 for a studio apartment, but somehow we're just magically supposed to save money. Like, genuinely, how are we supposed to get ahead in this economy? Back then, you could support a family on one income. You could buy a house working at Sears full-time, but now that just seems so unattainable. Budgeting in America in 2026 is basically survival at this point. You literally have to have a budget. You literally have to know where every single dollar of your money is going. This year I started using the Mine app and forced myself to make a budget because I literally was having no money left over after rent and groceries and other bills, stressing me out so much. Do I have a ton left over now? No, but I at least know where it's going. If you're struggling in 2026, I promise you, you are not alone.
Yesterday I pretended to be homeless for 3 hours. And I realized that if you're homeless, you're there by choice.
Imagine that. 3 hours. And now they're an expert.
Like, you are there by choice, 100% having that experience. Just the way that I chose to go experience that by choice. It's just, the only difference is the stories that you're telling yourself. So if you want to experience homelessness, you want to experience what it would be like to lose everything, you can go have that experience. Or you're welcome to create a bunch of bullshit stories in your life that force you, quote unquote, force you into that experience. But even when you go by force, it's still by choice because you wanted to have that experience. You just created a bunch of excuses for why you gave yourself permission to have it.
Oh yes, I'm sure that's it. People subconsciously just wanted to be homeless, so they unwittingly made events happen in their lives so that they could be that way, just to fulfill that unconscious dream, right?
It's just like any other experience that we have in life. It's no worse or better than having a home. It's no, different than anything else, but the experience does show you how much you take for granted.
Did one really just say that being homeless is no worse or better than having a home? Wow. Thanks for showing the world that there are truly some individuals out there that have absolutely lived a life of privilege and have never really had to truly go without anything.
What's the end goal here? Because the U.S. government cannot possibly believe that this is sustainable.
We already know what the end goal is. Take away the housing, make homelessness illegal, imprison everyone who's homeless, sell them back their freedom through working, having everyone live in workforce housing units, and you can only keep your house as long as you're working for the company that gave it to you. You own nothing, and when you quit that job, you'll still not own your home. So that means you will have to die working, just like they want anyway by raising the retirement age. That's literally the end goal. Like, the end goal is to make sure that everyone is enslaved and working as cogs in a machine. And I say that they've made that pretty clear, which is why it's more important now than ever to be invested in radical justice and revolting and hitting them where it hurts, which is their wallets and their workforce. They're already complaining that we're not having babies because we're depleting the future workforce, but literally nobody can afford children. So without kids and without money and without housing, we literally have nothing to lose.
30-year-olds cannot afford to buy a house on Long Island. It is absolutely crazy how expensive things have become in the last 5 years post-COVID. 30, 40, 50 years ago, the average age of a first-time homebuyer was 25 years old. Now, in 2025 and beyond, it's 40 years old. The average house is $750,000. The average taxes are $13,000. Who in their right mind can afford that when you're already barely making $100,000 a year, trying to pay off $300,000 worth of student debt, and if you go to get a bacon, egg, and cheese, it's $14 or $15. I don't know what the solution is. I guess that explains why so many people are leaving New York, but it's a sad thing. New York's a great place, minus the frigid ass cold, but if you want to stay in New York and you want to live a good life, you need to make as a couple at least $250,000 a year, and I don't see it.
So we're 9 months into this administration. I have not heard a single thing about what's going to be done about the housing crisis. In fact, the only policy thing I've heard that had to do with homelessness is that they are going to potentially make it so Section 8 vouchers can only be for 2 years. So, and that you would have to get out after 2 years with no exceptions. So people are losing their homes. People are living in extended stay hotels. People are sleeping in cars. By the statistics that came out last year, at minimum, there's 700 and something thousand people that are homeless, but we know it's much higher than that. So that would mean basically 1 in every 300 and something person in the United States is currently homeless. We send all kinds of foreign aid overseas. We're spending money to deploy the National Guard, but we're not focusing on what actually matters, which is domestic issues. And one of the biggest ones is waking up and having a place to motherfucking stay. So yeah, that's where we're at in this country. We're focused on other shit. We can't even focus on what really matters, having a place to rest your head at night.